Because you see, if Saturday and Sunday are 2 days where they come for training, Monday to Friday they are with you as a parent. What would you do at home to cultivate, to nurture better habits in football?
I think, speaking as a parent in a community football league, I think the first thing I would do is to tell them to forget about football, Monday to Wednesday.
Okay.
Absolutely forget about football, because why? You've played your football, you've had your training on Saturday, okay, and on Sunday you had your match. Rightly or wrongly, you may have won, you may have lost. Don't worry about it. You lost the match or you won the match. If you won the match, oh well, great, well done. But if you lost the match, well, don't worry about it too much. Okay. So really, Monday, Tuesdays, forget about it. Just go back to your normal life. Then maybe on a Wednesday or a Thursday, then you start to see what he's doing. If you have time in the afternoon, go to the padang, go kick the ball about, find some friends, that sort of thing. But that's at community level.
This is for kids, boys or girls who are 12 and below.
Yeah, 12 and below.
How about 13, 14, 15?
Actually, nowadays, kids at 13, 14, 15, they have their own friends. They know what to do. You don't have to tell them too much. Your role is just to support them when they're down because they've lost a match. You have to. Your role is to comfort them and tell them, well, don't worry too much about it. You'll do better next time. What do you think you did wrong? Have a little chat on that. You think you made this mistake or that mistake? Well, learn from it. That's all you should do.
Muru,
yeah.
Do you think parents who have not made it big in football impose their dreams on their children?
Yeah, some.
There's some. Okay, that's where the problem starts. Because the father has very high standards set himself, and then he says that, son, I couldn't do it now. I want you to make it.
That is okay if the son has the interest in football.
Okay,
that is
exactly.
okay if the son is interested in football. But if the son is not interested in football, and this father imposing his passion onto his son, then eventually the son will get fed up with football, and he'll just find a reason not to get involved in football. But let's say if the son, he is interested in football, and this father is equally passionate, to fulfill his dream through his son. Usually what they'll do, because coaches, they only spend 2 hours twice a week with the kids. So the rest 5 days, these kids are with the parents.
Yeah.
So if a father, if he wants his son to succeed in football, we know a professional player need to play 10,000 hours to become a professional player. Training twice a week, it will not complete. Yeah. So if the parents or the father or mother somehow will find time, maybe 1 hour a day after his work, just go to the field, play with him, nowadays parents, they stay throughout the coaching sessions looking what the coaches are doing. Maybe they can go and like a revision, like in schools nowadays, teachers are depending so much on parents.
Tuition teachers.
Yes, and also on parents also. So they're expecting parents to teach their kids in school, in the home. So I think the same thing applies in football. If you want your son to succeed in football, I think parents, they need to go the extra mile in playing with them. Go when the father is playing football, bring him along to play football. Eventually he'll get the touches and he can improve.
Like I said, this program is a no holds barred program. And do you think this racial harmony thing is playing a bit on the idea of producing a better nation? Because I'll share with you something synonym to this. During my time as a young kid, I grew up in a Malay kampong, and my mother will make this you know, this ice cream Malaysia, where you put it, you know, syrup and buah and everything, and then you tie and you put it in the freezer. Yeah, my friends from all walks of life, Chinese, Indians, Malays, will just come to the house, walk in, straight to the kitchen, and auntie, saya ambil satu. They'll just take one and just walk off. Then, this was way back in the 70s, 75, 76, 78. Then came a period when for Deepavali they will come, they will not ask you whether that chicken is halal. They know that we would have prepared it in a very halal way. They'll eat and go. Then came my children. Friends came, brought their own water and their own food during Deepavali. Yeah? Then came, now they don't come at all. It is also being shown in, I'm showing the example, the movement of the era from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the new millennium. There is a change in habit, and as what you said just now, oh, community too. If you see a group of Indian boys, they say, ini MIC ka? If you see Chinese, ini MCA ka? And then you see totally all Malay boys, you say, oh, ini UMNO ka? So, labeling. We are all Malaysians. I think football is also divided on the racial divide. Now, which I think is not healthy, but you guys are doing a superb job. I think Subang Jaya has got all, yeah? All races in. Now, if we do not inculcate this at grassroots and youth, not only by coaches, but parents at home, because parents, in certain canteens, they have only for one race, this one and this one for the other races. What do you inculcate into them? So in a team, parents are mentally dividing. I'm going a bit, this is actually happening, yeah? Parents are actually dividing them even before they come to the pitch. Because, as you know, if you prepare the water for half time, you put glucose inside for the players. Everybody has their own cup, but you just take it and you drink it. Nobody there checks whether this is okay or not. We all drank from the same bottle. After he drinks and then we drink, that kind of thing. But now, this has become very serious. Your thoughts on it? I mean, you do not have to agree, you do not have to not agree, but your thoughts on how do we, as from parents' perspective, Muru will talk to me about the coach's perspective. How do you inculcate into these young boys that we are Malaysia? That's why you said just now it's a Malaysia thing. I agree totally with you. How do you go about it?
Okay, from a personal point of view, I think when it comes to religious or cultural sensitivities, the reality of it all is a person from another community shouldn't be commenting, I suppose, or judging another community's beliefs. That's my starting point. Because where I'm coming from this is simply that we, in our Subang Jaya community, we embrace all cultures, all communities, right? And we are mindful of that, and we are sensitive to this. So, for whatever reason, if let's say we go out as a team, and then we will ensure that we will always tell people, please ensure that everything brought is, for a starter, halal. Okay. Then we also go on to say, and absolutely no beef. Okay, so we make it clear, okay, to everyone that these are a certain cultural, and because I might be a vegetarian. So we will ensure that if, let's say, their kids or their parents who are vegetarians, then please ensure that there's some sufficient vegetarian options for the kids. So that is what we do. We really try to embrace all cultural sensitivities.
Okay. That is the parents' point of view, yeah? Okay. Coaches, what do you do?
Coaches, what we do is that we will ask kids from all races to play together. We don't want to let just Indian boys playing here, Malay boys playing here, because when it comes to a coaching session, all the players need to get involved.
Train together.
Yeah, so they will have to train together, and what we will do, and after each training session, we will ask the players themselves to take up all the coaching equipments, so they will help out each other to take out all the balls, the markers, the cones, to arrange it properly. So they will do it collectively as a team. So I think for the younger kids, they can get along with other races, no problem. As they grow up older, when they go into their teenage, that's where they feel more comfortable with their own community. Like for kids under 12, I think they got no reasons to be separated. They'll just come, they'll just play. They don't care whether you are Indian, Chinese, or Malay.
I played football when I was 12, I played football when I was 15, I played football when I was 18, 20 and so on. I never had this problem of moving along only with my community, but why is it there now? I mean, I'm basing on my experience. I do not know, you might have gone through something else, but I never had, even my colleagues, my friends, never had this problem of moving, because our schooling system was different, and we all grew up together. There was no issue. Even until today, we do not have an issue with this group of friends who are with me. Why do you think? I mean, what you said that as they grow up, they want to move together with their community. Why? I
don't know. Maybe kids nowadays, they have access to knowledge. They have access to everything. The things that they read. Certainly, the upbringing from the parents.
That's why I went back to that's why the topic is all about.
They can access to internet at any point of time, the things that they read. So I think, coaches and parents need to monitor what these kids are doing actually, when until 12 you can get along, why after that when you go into teenage you can't get along?
Can you say it is also the political inclination? We're not saying pointing fingers at anyone, but yeah, that is the sad truth. Yeah, it could be, maybe, yeah. You don't want to get into trouble. maybe. I wouldn't deny the fact, but don't you think that it is important for kids of someone earlier in the first session I had Bakri Ibni who played in the 1980 Olympics team, yeah, and Bakri is one person who is very outspoken, and he says those days we had Chunwa, we had Chin An, we had Mokhtar, we had Arumugam, we had Tore Raju, and we had all these players playing as a team, but you can't find that now. It was coming from him, So he says that something is seriously wrong with our football education, with our education, with the political inclination, with what schools do with people, what politicians do, the divide that we have. Yeah, all plays an important role, but it's good to know that there are some parents who are very vocal and open about it and feel that let's play as a Malaysian. That's why we discussed earlier about Chong Wei and Nicole being world champion, because it was one single individual. They only have to be mindful of themselves, whereas put 11 or 18 together and make them all think in the direction that we want to take them is not an easy task. Yeah? Okay. Richard, Do you think the football industry should be, how would I put it? Do you think the football industry is one industry that you would encourage young kids to be involved in, so that it can become a good profession in the future? What would be your take as a parent? Or as an individual, your thoughts?
Phew, that is a difficult question because at the end of the day, as a typical Asian parent, you will say, hey, go to school, study hard, the rest don't worry about it, That's the starting point as a typical Asian parent. But things are changing, I think it really would depend on three areas. Firstly, does the kid have the aptitude for it? Has he got the ability? Firstly, you need, as parents, while your role is to support them 100%, you also need to give them a reality check as parents, and you're going to do it in a proper way so that they're not crushed. Obviously, they don't want to say that, no, my parents, my dad is the one that crushed my dreams, so I had this dream of being the next Messi and all that, So that's very important. Parents need to guide and provide some form of a reality check. However, if the child does really have the aptitude, the attitude, the ability and all, then by all means you should be encouraging that child to go into that area.
We have sort of come to the end of our sort of informal discussion on the role of parents in grassroots and youth. We have also asked ourselves whether this can be an industry that can be followed, can be subscribed by many people. Football is actually the #1 game played in the world by population, and we are there. We have done it. We are still trying to do it. We're trying to improve, but it is not only the responsibility of football association, clubs and so on. From our discussion, I think among others, parents play a very, very important role in shaping a kid into what the kid will become. I remember my school teacher telling me, when I used to be away from class for state team trainings and so on, she'll say, Subra, football is not going to take you anywhere. And I wish I could see her today and tell her that football is what has taken me where I am today. So, but that is not the end of it. I think football has disciplined me in a sense that although having lost my dad at the age of 8, being the eldest in the family, it has carved into something where I kept away from all the ill-gotten things like, getting drunk and smoking or drugs. It kept me away because I know that in order to become a good footballer, you should keep away from all this. So on my own, because of sports, because of football, it has kept me away from all those things. So it has in a way disciplined me, and I hope that the young ones who are viewing this and listening to these discussions, parents who are listening to this, it is upon you that you have to guide your kids. Don't pressure them too much into something that they do not want to do, or rather even winning, because if you have all the ingredients right, winning will eventually come, and it is upon you parents that what that kid becomes eventually, because most of the time they spend with you rather than coaches and administrators and so on. So with that, I'd like to thank you, Muru, Richard.
Thank you.
Taking time off and of your Sunday and coming forward for this discussion. This will not be the last.